Okay, good afternoon, and welcome to the 94th annual meeting of your Beacon Credit Union. My name is Dusty Cutress, President and CEO of Beacon Credit Union, and I thank you for your attendance. Your interest and support mean a great deal to the staff and elected officials of this credit union. I strongly believe it is the responsibility of the owners of a cooperative to participate in the annual shareholders meeting. I'm extremely proud to report on the successful 2024 operations of Beacon Credit Union. The individuals on this stage and spread throughout the crowd represent board members, committee members, management, and staff of your locally owned and operated credit union. I would also like to recognize a couple of special guests that are in attendance today. Kevin Willauer, former president and CEO of Beacon Credit Union, and Vince Harrell, past supervisory committee chair. Would you two both please stand to be recognized? Thank you both for attending today. We look forward to presenting reports, financial statements, and other valuable information concerning Beacon Credit Union to this annual gathering of its owners. Written information is contained in the annual report, which you received at the registration table. Please feel free to follow along as the information is presented. To assist our secretary, please state your name when making a motion, a second, or when discussion is being held. It is my pleasure to introduce Ben Woodcox, Vice President of Compliance for Beacon Credit Union, to appropriately open this 94th annual meeting with prayer.
Please bow your heads. Heavenly Father, we do give you thanks for every good thing in our lives. And we do give you thanks for those that have joined together to conduct the business and review the business of past of Beacon Credit Union and of the future for this credit union. We know your hands have always been upon this business and the success here. And for that, we give you thanks above all, because we know, as your word says, every good thing comes from the Lord above. We just pray for the rest of this meeting that you will be involved and that you will have your hand and blessing on everything that's discussed and that's dealt with here. We thank you, Jesus. Amen.
Thank you, Ben. Welcome, everyone. My name is Herb Horum, Chairman of your Board of Directors. And it is apparent from our recorded registrations that we have a quorum. So, therefore, I am going to officially open our 94th annual shareholders meeting. First order of business will be from our Secretary Treasurer, John Peters, and he's going to get the minutes of last year's meeting approved. John?
Good afternoon. The minutes of the 93rd annual meeting on March 18th, 2024 are found on page 2 of your annual report. Mr. Chairman, I move to accept the March 18th, 2024 annual meeting minutes as presented in the annual report.
Thank you, John. Is there a second? I'm sorry, state your name. Got it? We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. Minutes are approved. Next item on the agenda is a report of our nominating committee, and Dusty will present that.
The nominating committee consists of Larry Thrush, Ernie Pease, and Richard DuBois. The committee met on December 11th, 2024, as provided for in the credit union bylaws. As provided for in the credit union bylaws, one credit union member was nominated by the committee for each open position. A bio for each nominee is included on page 3 of the annual report. Nominated to serve 3-year terms on the Board of Directors are John Peters, Sarah Delbeck, and Tom Jones. Nominated to the Supervisory Committee are Brandon Gerber for a 3-year term and Joy Conley for a 2-year term. Would the nominees please stand? Thank you. As no nominations were received by petition, and there being a nominee for each of the open positions, it is recommended to elect, by acclamation of the members present today, John Peters, Sarah Delbeck, Tom Jones, Brandon Gerber, and Joy Conley to the open Board of Directors and Supervisory Committee positions as outlined in the nominating committee report. Do we have a motion to that effect? Thank you, Anita. Anita Roos moves to elect John Peters, Sarah Delbeck, and Tom Jones to 3-year terms on the Board of Directors by acclamation, as well as Brandon Gerber to a 3-year term and Joy Conley to a 2-year term on the Supervisory Committee by acclamation. Is there a second to that motion? Thank you. Those members in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the same sign. Motion carries. Congratulations, John, Sarah, Tom, Brandon, and Joy. Thank you for your willingness to help lead this organization. At this time, I would like to introduce Steve Carrier, Chief Financial Officer, to present the 2024 financial report.
Thank you, Dusty. I am Steve Carrier. I'm the Chief Financial Officer at Beacon Credit Union. From an interest rate perspective, 2024 was relatively calm compared to the 2 years prior to that. However, the Federal Reserve did start the next easing cycle by reducing rates over their last 3 meetings of 2024, a total of 1%. The big question seems to be what next and when. Inflation has persistently stayed above the Fed's 2% target, which has many thinking it could be a while before we see further easing. Others believe the economy is showing signs of weakness and rates need to be lowered sooner rather than later. Then there's the impact of a new administration in the White House, which I'm not even going to try to tackle today. What tends to impact us as a financial institution, though, is the shape of the yield curve rather than the absolute numbers that make up the yield curve. Today, the shape has flattened out from the severe inverted position that it was in. That should be and is a good thing for Beacon Credit Union. It will be even better when the shape turns positive. I will present a very brief summary of the financial results of the credit union for 2024. Included in your annual report on page 4 is the consolidated balance sheet as of December 31st, 2024, and on page 5 is the consolidated statement of income for the year ended December 31st, 2024. First, the balance sheet. The consolidated balance sheet reports total assets of $1,526,000,000 as of December 31st. That's an increase of $8.8 million from December 31st of 2023. In 2023, for the first time ever, loans to members went over the $1 billion threshold. In 2024, loans to members grew an additional $55.8 million to total $1,058,000,000 as of December 31st. Total member deposits now total approximately $1,213,000,000. Overall, loan yields continue to improve as time goes on, while our cost of funds and share balances appear to both be stabilizing. As mentioned earlier, the credit union was able to grow loan balances during 2024. On a percentage basis, we experienced the most growth in our commercial loan portfolio at nearly 30%. And on a dollar basis, we grow our agriculture portfolio by nearly $49 million. Total member deposits declined approximately $47 million, or about 3.8%. This was the third consecutive year of declining deposit balances, most of which is attributed to government stimulus program monies that were deposited back in 20 and 21, being utilized by members during a period of rising cost due to the inflationary environment of the last few years. That said, share balances at the credit union are significantly higher than they were prior to the pandemic. The decline in deposit balance was offset by an increase in borrowings. Just like the last couple of years, a side effect of higher interest rates is the impact that those higher rates have on the value of our investment portfolio. Accounting rules dictate that the difference between the book value and the market value of our portfolio must be run through our capital or members' equity section of the balance sheet. Thus, that has had a negative impact on total members' equity or capital. That said, total equity still totals more than $162 million, a $3 million increase from the end of 2023. The credit union's regulatory net worth totals $224.7 million, resulting in a very strong regulatory net worth ratio of 14.72%. Again, that is an increase from the previous year. Then to the income statement. Net income during 2024 totaled $4.5 million, resulting in a total return on average asset ratio of 0.30%. Total dividends on member share deposits during 2024 totaled $21.9 million. That is an increase of nearly $4 million more than we paid in 2023, even with the lower deposit balances that I was talking about earlier. Additionally, the credit union paid out $1,871,000 in the form of a loan interest rebate on December 31st, 2024, marking the 19th consecutive year a loan interest rebate has been paid to our membership. As previously mentioned, total regulatory net worth totals $224.7 million, resulting in a regulatory net worth ratio of 14.72%. So obviously I've mentioned capital and so on a couple of times. I want to talk a little bit about why capital is so important to us. It's our capital position that allows us to move forward during uncertain and volatile economic times. The 14.72% regulatory capital is more than double the 7% minimum required by our regulators to be classified as well capitalized. It's even higher than our peer group ratio of 11.62%. This additional capital allows for the credit union to continue investing in new or improved products and services for our membership. It allows us to weather turbulent and prolonged tough economic times. It allows for member givebacks like the loan interest rebate, our low fee structure, and at the same time allows us to stay competitive with our loan and deposit rates. It also puts Beacon in a position to grow as we try to attract new members through organic growth or to consider a merger or acquisition for growth. In times of a tough and uncertain economic and regulatory environment, this strong capital position is the cornerstone of Beacon Credit Union, which allows us to respond to our member needs. A strong capital position is increasingly important for credit unions, as the only way that credit unions can increase capital is through earnings. Beacon Credit Union has been able to maintain a strong capital position and adhere to our philosophy of being a market leader on deposit and loan rates, while also maintaining our low fee structure and being responsive to our membership. This concludes my financial report for 2024. If there's any questions, please feel free to contact me during normal business hours. Thank you.
Great report. At this time, I will entertain a motion to accept the report as Steve has presented for the 2024. We have a motion. Is there a second? Thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve the financial reports for 2024. All in favor? Opposed? Same sign. Motion is carried. They are approved.
Okay, thank you, Herb and Steve, for the financial report. It is my pleasure to introduce the current Board of Directors. Herb Horum, Chairman. Dr. Lindsay Culver, Vice Chair. John Peters, Secretary-Treasurer, as well as Directors Jim Yates, Sarah Delbeck, Paul Hartman, and Denny Post. Jim, Denny, and Paul were unable to be in attendance with us today, so thank you for your service to the credit union. Could we take a moment to recognize their service, please? Thank you. Thank you. I would also like to introduce the executive management team of Beacon Credit Union. Don Asherman, Chief Operations Officer. Todd Beeler, Chief Strategy Officer. Mark Briney, Chief Marketing Officer. Steve Carrier, Chief Financial Officer. Lori Ellsroth, Chief Administrative Officer. Ryan Shalley, Chief Information Officer. And Tricia Loker, our Chief Credit Officer. It is both an honor and a privilege to work with this group of talented individuals. The written report of directors is contained on page 7 of your annual report, and the written report of management is contained on pages 8 and 9 of your annual report. The mission of this credit union focuses on providing quality loans and deposit programs that respond to the needs of our membership. We believe this organization provides its owners with valuable products and services. Given the economic climate, it is rewarding to be associated with this financial cooperative that has been consistently successful and kept to its mission. You own this credit union. We encourage you to take full advantage of its products, services, and rates. Directors' meetings are held each month to consider dividend rates, loan rates, corporate objectives, financial results, property and equipment needs, new products and services, new technology, investments, and policies. We are proud to continue to pay dividend rates on our deposit accounts that consistently met or exceeded our competitors. During 2024, just shy of $22 million of our revenue was distributed to depositors in the form of cash dividends. That's over $3.7 million more than was paid out in 2023 and over $13.3 million more than what was paid out in 2022. Beacon Credit Union continues to demonstrate that it does deliver attractive deposit programs, competitive loan terms and rates, and quality services. We were also proud to return over $1.8 million of the loan interest paid by our borrowers back through the loan interest rebate program in 2024. Over $20 million has been returned to our members who have borrowed from Beacon Credit Union over the past several years. We are committed to maintaining a sound financial institution that continues to serve current and future generations of people living and working in Indiana. With our reserves and undivided earnings surpassing $223.5 million, Beacon Credit Union provides an extremely safe institution to assist owners in meeting all their financial needs. Beacon Credit Union was formed in 1931 to assist our community's farmers in a time of need. In fact, from those modest beginnings, your credit union continues to be recognized as the largest agricultural lending credit union in the United States. Your credit union takes the people helping people philosophy to heart. We have grown to offer 26 locations, 22 owned ATMs, and over 5,000 nationwide shared branching locations, along with robust online and mobile banking delivery systems. Our membership enjoys all the amenities of services and convenience, whether it's in branch or through one of our many digital channels. But make no mistake, it has always been our dedicated and professional staff that lead the way in making a positive impact in the communities in which we serve. In January 2024, Beacon Credit Union announced that we had entered into a definitive purchase and assumption agreement to acquire Mid-Southern Savings Bank located in Salem, Indiana, which is in Washington County. Mid-Southern has 2 additional full-service branch locations in Orleans, which is in Orange County, as well as Mitchell, which is in Lawrence County, as well as a loan production office in Louisville, Kentucky. We are pleased to share that just last week, we received the final regulatory approval needed to close on this transaction. We are currently working through the appropriate notifications to Mid-Southern customers over the coming weeks and expect this transaction to close by the end of April. After this transaction closes, Beacon Credit Union's total assets are expected to exceed $1.7 billion, while total loans will exceed $1.2 billion, and total member shares will exceed 1.4 billion. This is the conclusion of the directors and management reports, and next we'll move on to the credit committee. And at this time, I would like to call on Craig Bright, Vice President of Ag Lending, to present the 2024 report of our credit committee.
Thanks, Dusty. Appointed members of your credit committee include Tricia Loker, Todd Beeler, and myself, Craig Bright. The committee meets to approve or deny loan applications submitted by members for real estate, agriculture, commercial, and other large loans that exceed loan officer lending limits. New and existing members are utilizing Beacon Credit Union for their borrowing needs, and we appreciate them choosing our credit union. Our committee, together with our outstanding loan personnel, strive to find reasonable ways of assisting members with their borrowing needs. Loans are big business, as loan closings dispersed over $261 million to member borrowers last year. The terms, conditions, and rates for our loans are established through your board of directors. The advantages of borrowing from a locally owned institution are a huge benefit provided by your credit union. Our dedicated loan officers are ready to help you tailor a loan program to meet your needs. We are honored to serve in the capacity of your committee. We encourage everyone to discover how borrowing money is a rewarding experience here at Beacon Credit Union. A written report of the credit committee activity is presented on page 10 of the annual report. Thank you.
Thank you, Craig. Next, please welcome Rob Parker as he presents the report of the Supervisory Committee.
Your Supervisory Committee consists of elected members Tom Jones, Brandon Gerber, and myself, Rob Parker. Tom and Brandon, will you please stand and be recognized? Thank you for your service. The Indiana Credit Union Act requires board and management of a credit union to be accountable to a supervisory committee made up of members elected by the membership. Our committee is responsible for seeing that all laws are followed and that all balances on the books of the credit union are verified and accurate. Our committee supervises Mr. John Garrett as internal auditor, who is responsible for internal auditing. We also employ the services of Cherry Beckert, LLP, and Computer Services Incorporated, otherwise known as CSI, to review and test our information and technology safeguards. The December 31st, 2024 independent audit is currently in process and is being conducted by Forvis Mazars. The December 31st, 2023 independent audit, also conducted by Forvis Mazars, was performed in accordance with auditing standards generally accepted in the United States of America, and an unmodified, clean opinion on the credit union's consolidated financial statement was given. Your credit union continues to meet approved standards through examinations from the Indiana Department of Financial Institutions and the American Share Insurance. The written report of the Supervisory Committee is presented on page 11 of your annual report. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Rob. I do have one director that is retiring and would like to recognize him. Unfortunately, he was not able to be present today, but I did want to at least take the time to recognize Paul Hartman, again, who is retiring at the conclusion of this meeting. Paul has served as a volunteer for Beacon Credit Union for 8 years, first serving on the Supervisory Committee from March 2017 through March 2022 when he moved to the Board of Directors. And again, I just wanted to take a moment to thank Paul for his service to Beacon Credit Union and acknowledge that his thoughts, feedback, and insights on our meetings will be greatly missed.
Well, at this time, I have to ask, is there any old business that anyone would like to bring up? Hearing none, I will move toward adjournment. I think we have had a very informative and successful 94th annual meeting, and would advise, if you have any questions or need any assistance with anything, please see any one of us or any of our executive member staff. And at this time, I would accept a motion to adjourn. Is there a second? We have a motion and a second. All in favor for adjournment? Thank you. We are adjourned.